as we are with the Boeing 757-200, and we've also got the RB211 engine model, so we've got big, lovely engines. There are a little bit, there's a little bit of problems with the texturing when I put the paint on for the engines, but they are there and ready to go with the nicely big RB211s, the engine model. So we're going to be leaving Vienna, going to be heading down to Munich, and I thought we'd test it out as we have these new engines on board today. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and leave comments down below. And now we can get inside the cockpit and start the aircraft up ready for our download. We've got the aircraft already and configured. We go to our checklist now. So we go overhead now. We get the battery, which is on and checked. Standby power is to auto, which is also checked and set. We've got external power, which we can put on. We can get the electrical power, which is established. We've got the bus types, which is in the utility bus, and the gen gen continuous, which are also checked. Irises can both go to a nav, which will then both switch from on DC to align, which is also checked and set. Parking brake is set. The CDU, which will all be set. EECs can be set to normal, which are also checked and set. Your dampers can go on once the IRS has aligned. Electronic engine control, hydraulic left and right pumps. We can get everything all set once we get ready and configured. Solar alarm, the emergency lights, the engine limiters can go on and check to get one pump in, which will be set for the APU, which will get set in just a few moments time. Coming through, we can get our logo, which can go on, position and red anti-collisions. Window heats can be both on and checked. Landing rate is going to be for auto. And we'll come down for an auto one. We'll get the landing elevation in just a few moments time, where we're going to get the temperatures now, which will be all set and checked for us to go. So we'll start the APU up. Get the trim air on with the recircs, get the packs on to auto. The isolation valve can be opened and the APU bleed can also go on as well. So the irises are all aligned now and ready to go. We get all of our panel lighting and lights all on and checked. Ready for us to leave. We get the first officer's side on as well. So as we've got all our panels on, we're going to get the IRS ready and the lines ready to leave. So go to our position. We've gone Lima Oscar Whiskey, which is checked. You can hear the APU has come over. So we'll get that pumped in. Going from Lowy, and we're going to be going into Munich, which is Echo Delta Delta Mike. Leaving out on the route for the departure. We're checking the runway that we're going to be departing out from, which is going to be runway 29. And we're going to be leaving on the 22 Charlie. So the answer to Charlie, which is right here. From there, on our routing, we've then got to Sodal, which is checked. Sydney is going to be next. From Sydney, we're going to Bagsy. From Bagsy, we've got Matty. Matic is then going to take us down to Amadi. And from Amadi, we've then got the Quebec 113 via Napsa. From Napsa, we've then got the Napsa 1 Bravo. So we've gone to the arrival of the Napsa 1 Bravo. And we'll be coming in for 26 right on the ALS. And if we have a look, as we're coming in at NAPS 26, which will be set for the transition, we can set that off. We'll go into our perfs now. We'll get our gross weight. So on the reserve, we've got 3. Cruising altitude, we're going for 340. Cost index today is 80. On for the takeoff, we're going to be going on for a flaps 5. V1 etc. for our speeds. We've got 138, 144 and a 151 for V2, so we can plug 151, which is already set. We're leaving out of the runway heading, which we've also got checked and set for us. So as we check in on the charts, we can see we're going to be leaving out of runway 29, which is right here. And then we're going to depart off out onto the departure, where we're going to swing into a left-hand turn onto the 217, which will then take us onto a right-hand turn to the 273. We'll follow that off to Oxford and then to Sovereign, and then we'll be all set. So climb on the 291 track to 1000, and then to the Whiskey Whiskey 296, to the Whiskey Whiskey 383. So we are all ready and set to go. We can go to the next part of our checklist, which is going to be all ready and set. So we go back to the checklist now. Bus type switches are all on, utility bus are on and set, generate controls are on, APU selector, if no GPU is off, runway turn off lights are on, we get the APU gen which is on as well, external power can now come off of the buses, emergency lights are armed, engine start selectors 1 or 2, engine start selectors are auto, fuel pumps etc, we can get all the fuel pumps in now, which are going to be all checked and set for us. And we can go and get all of our hydraulics, which are going to be all set and ready to leave. Window heats are all on, passenger signs it can go on with the no smoking. Window heats are set, emergency exit lights are armed, and we are now all ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the tug, and we can get ready to leave out of the runway. So trim air switches and everything is all on, so we'll call the tug and get ready to leave. Okay, so tug's now going to drive us up so we can get ready of everybody and hide them all as we get the aircraft fully ready for our departure out. So everything's all on now, ready for us to leave. We'll get the METARs just as we get pushed back after. We go down and get everything all set. We go down to our map, which is all checked. We can see we've got the departure right there as we leave out onto that lovely left to right hand turn, leaving out of the runway. Everything is all set on our front of the FMC, winds, etc. fine. And then as we leave, we can see 1000 above. We then make that left hand turn onto that right, which will then take us onto the 217. So we are all ready to leave. The tug's now coming. Doors can now all be closed.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Parking brake will be set. Chocks all removed. And we are now ready for pushback. So auto brake can be set to RTO, which is already checked and set. Flight directors are all on and set. And auto throttle is armed. Before start, we get all our fuel pumps on, which are checked. Passenger signs are set, windows are locked, MCP is set, takeoff thrust will also be set and checked, and takeoff speeds. So everything is all on and good for us to go.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted, release parking brake.
Okay, so what we can do now is we can release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Okay, so we'll get ready to go. So pack selectors can go off, which are checked. APU bleed, which is all on and set. So what we can do is we'll go to auto for both, and we're going to go for engine. Okay, so as we're all ready and set to go, all we can do is we'll put the packs back onto auto, which are checked. We've got the engine bleeds and everything, which are all set and checked. The APU bleed can be turned off, and we've got the APU gen, which we'll leave on as well, which is all set and checked for us. Seatbelt signs are all on, which are set. Anti-ice, which is off. Pack selectors are auto. Isolation valve can go off as well. Takeoff flaps, which is going to be a flaps 5, which is set. Flight control, status and ECAS display, and transponder, which is checked and set. So on for the transponder, we'll put that to a TA, which is checked for us. We're leaving out, we're going to get the METARs as well for Vienna, so we'll check them quick so we can get the QNHs and everything all set up and input. QNH at 1004. Okay, 1004. And 1004. And 1004, which is checked and set. all the V speeds and everything which are going to be in. We're leaving now, take off onto the runway, which is going to be 138, 144 and a 151. So 138, 154 and 131. So rev speeds are all in and checked, and we are now all ready to go. So what I'm going to do is turn the runway turn off lights on, say for our taxi lights. Bring the controls over. We've got flaps 5 which is set. In for the trim which we're going to take out today. Center of gravity is going to be 3.1. So go to 3.1 over on the trim. Okay, which is checked. And now what we can do, guys, is we can taxi on out for the runway. So we're going to basically taxi on down through Lima. We'll hit onto the Alpha 2 and we'll come through over onto runway 29, which is right here. Okay, so we can release parking brake. 10 degrees, which is on the temperature, so we'll get the anti-ice on just after takeoff. Got our weather display as well, which will just do a few tests. And what we can do is we can now power on up to runway 29. Weather looks clear, seems to be clear at the moment. Over on our winds for departure is 28016. And our taxi out, we're basically going to turn out onto the taxiway and come straight down onto Alpha 2, so it'll be a right, left, right. Okay, so there is some weather there, which isn't looking very nice. It does come back. And as we come in now, we're going to get ready to make that turn. In just a few moments, we're going to go down to the end and then turn around. And we've also got our terrain as well. So it's going to be a left, right, left. As you can see. So I've put the new update into the 757 as well, so it's got the latest update, and we put the engine mod as well in. Okay, and there is going to be our left-hand turn. Here's our right-hand turn now. We're going to hit down onto the Alpha 2. You can see that by the taxi charts here. We are going to hit the Alpha 2, which is right next to us. We can go on to Alpha 1 just to get majority of the runway. Arm LNAV and VNAV. Actually, we'll arm LNAV. We'll get VNAV on after our flat retractions. So we'll run LNAV up, 400 feet LNAV will engage. As we can see, it's armed in white. Once our nav's engaged, once we get to our flaps up, we can then go into our V-speed, and LNAV and VNAV will both be engaged. So as we get ready now to cross over onto runway 29, going to get the strobes on and everything set to go, so we can get all of our lights on, which are checked. Runway turn-offs are all on as we get ready to line up now for the runway. So wings can go off. Flaps 5 is set. Okay, so here we are now, all ready and set to go. We'll set our departure bug, which is after 400 feet going to be checked in. We're going to be departing out from the runway onto the 291. So as we are now all ready to go, we'll go overhead, we'll get our landing lights, which can all go on and checked. Cam powering up to 40%. And stabilized, and a toga. Full pressure on the column. Speed live. 80 knots, throttle hold. 100 neutral on the column. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Okay, as we go into that left-hand turn now. Is we'll go to our takeoff cinematics, and then once we come back into the cockpit, we can then get the aircraft fully configured, ready to come down in for the ILS into Munich, arriving down onto runway of 26 right. So we'll see you guys when we get back into the flight deck. are just about to make our top of descent down into lovely Munich. So I'm going to pin the MCP altitude now as we've descended down to 270. I'm going to pin out to 5,000 feet, which will be set, so then the airport will be on a nice descent path. There's our top descent just before Bagsy, which we're going to come in for the arrival. And if I show you everything down on plan mode just before we do come down, I can show you exactly what's going to happen. So once we come through, we are pretty much going to roll through from Bagsy, and then from Bagsy we're pretty much going to come all the way around and then onto a left-hand turn, which we're going to see. And from that left-hand turn, basically going to come down to Guduk, which is then going to bring us in on for the arrival. So there's our top of descent coming in range now. We're 1013 on the QNHs, and we're going to start to come down for Gudeg as we come down for Ambi and Armada. So the aircraft is nice and configured now. As we get ready to come down, we are going to put on our seatbelt signs, which can go all on and checked. As the aircraft's now going to start to make its descent down into runway 26. So we're going for the descent checklist, pressurization for landing. We'll go get the landing elevation coming down onto the runway. So landing elevation coming through. We're going to be coming in for the Gudeg arrival. Once we come through, we're going to cut left from Oldersberg and then come round onto Gudeg from the uniform Mike 59. Got Munich in, which is 1160. 1160, should be a 261, which we checked, and as we come down, elevation is going to be 1487. So put it to 1490, which is checked. Seatbelt signs are on now. Descended through flight level 260. Recall can also be checked. Recall is clear. Auto brake selector can be set as well, so we're going to go for auto brake number 2. Landing data VREV we can all set up now on for the arrival. So as we come through onto the path, our approach is 10870, which we can confirm is the 10870 for the 261, which we are going to be coming down on the 216 degrees. For our flap setting, we're going to do flaps 30 for a 134. Once we get the winds, etc., coming down on the arrival, then I'll plug that for our plus speed as well. So if we check down on for Munich's meters, we're going to be looking for 1006. Transition is going to be for 5,000 feet. As we do 10 kilometers, we've got a few clouds at 1600 broken, 1800 broken clouds, and 2700 as well. So our winds is 250 at 9, so we can plus 10 onto that. So we're going to put a flaps 30 of a 144. Okay, which is checked. We can start to get in the weather system as well as we plug that through, so we can start to get that down. Passing through 230. Everything is all on and checked, ready for the arrival, coming down for around 1500 feet per minute. For altitude constraints, you can see where we're going to move through from Naps and then run round onto the bend. It's passing through 22,000 feet. Speed restrictions coming down 293, 250 at Naps, 10,000 below, which should be all set and checked for us. That's 3144, we've got VREV plus 10, which is the 144, which would have been 134. Let's just move the gain down on the tilt. And then basically you can see when we move the tilt how much of the weather that we can see. Passing through flight level 210. Anti-ice can be on and checked, it's still -8. Get some lovely views coming down into Munich. QNH is 1006. Those are fully ready and set to come in. Now if I wanted to set the aircraft up even further and get us down even quicker, what we can do is we can put good egg in for 5,000. As we're then going to move on to that set, we can open up the speed. We can knock that down to 215. As we now start to descend down, we're going to get the aircraft fully configured and set to come in. So there's good, and we are now going to start to open up the speed brakes. To level change. Once the aircraft starts to slow down, good is going to be for 5,000, so we're at about 15,000 feet coming through. "19 knot winds" as we do come into the vicinity. It's 250, just slowing down through. As we check inbound, we have got coming in, we've got the 108 70261. Which is in. There's Godegg. Now we're going to put the flight level change on. Now we're going to start our rapid descent down for 5,000 feet, which we've got set and checked. The ILS is all in as well. As we start to slow down now, 215, we're right near our clean speed, ready to open up our flaps. Passing through 18,000 feet. Which is in. We are going to switch over, or 5,000 feet we're going to switch over, so our transit level will be 5,000 feet as it says by ATC. Airport elevation, which is 1487, which is for 190, which is also plugged and set in, as the views have gone a little bit funny. On the throttles we've got 218, which is basically bringing us down to our clean speed, which is right here. So the aircraft just nose up just a little, ready for that descent back down. And now for around 2,000 feet per minute. And we'll then be ready to intercept, so we just knocked off that part of the star arrival, so that we've given clearance to a direct to Gozab. And now we are ready to come inbound, passing through 15,000 feet, 10,000 to go. So on for the approach checklist. On for the approach, we've got the pressurization landing, which is 1490, which is checked. Recoil's been checked as well, which is set. 1006, which will be on, passing through 5,000 feet. We'll do 6,000 just to be on the safe side. Coming down for 5,000 feet to intercept onto 108.70 for the 261 degree course, which is already set in and checked, and we can just cross-reference that as well, the 108.70. Passing through 13,400 feet, down in for 5,000, so we've got about 8,000 feet to go. We can see on with the altitude marker whereabouts we are going to be to Godegg, so we can now get the speed brakes in. And we can arm them now as we are ready and set to come. So just passing through 12,004. Aircraft's at idle speed now. Let's just get ready for that descent to come in. So we'll watch the altitude needle and go into vertical speed. And we'll come down until we get the altitude horizon just right on for us. So for 12,000, got 1,300 feet per minute, which will go in. You can see over here, we can see the marker where we're going to end up. So if we drop down to around 1,000 feet, we'll see that start to move up a little bit more closer as we go down to EDDM, ready for 214. So we just passed through now 1,000 feet. Before we get ready to intercept onto EDDM, we are at our flaps up speed, as I thought we was going to get down a little bit later. As we pass through 11,006. Got the VOR in as well for the 261, which is also here for the 11600 down for Munich. We're coming in for a flaps 30 VREV 10, or plus 10, which is going to give us a 144. What we can also do now, as we are going to start to level off down the vicinity, we just move down the weather just a little bit on the tilt. So passing through 11,000 feet. .214, which we're holding as we come through. Can speed up to 230. So as we're now passing through 6,005, we are going to be tracking inbound now to the airport as we've got EDDM as we come through. And then we're going to make that left-hand turn from EDDM to come in for runway 26 right, which is going to be set. So we are at our clean speed, just holding as we're passing through 6,001. Down on the next page we've got EDDM for 5,000 and 7 all the way through until we come down onto the final approach fix. So the ILS and everything is all in. ILS can be tested. There's a glide slope come through now as we just slow down for 6,000 feet. Passing through 10 now, landing lights can now go on, which are checked. We'll put the runway turn off lights on as well, so we've got them already. 5,000 feet, which is going to be set in for the 1006, which is checked. And a 1006. Okay. 200 foot decision, which is also going to go in, which is checked and set. And you see we've got a glide slope which is there. We'll just be waiting for the localizer. Once the localizer's in, we can hit the approach and then get ready to bounce into the runway. So we're still 29 nautical miles out from the airport, holding 5,000 feet as we go into the clouds. .22 knot winds, gusting to around 25. There's EDDM, which is currently 16 nautical miles, ready for us to come in. So as we're just about to roll through the clouds, we can see that we've got all the terrain and everything which is already in. So we'll switch over the terrain now. As we know that we have got severe weather that's going to hit us. Auto brake set for number 2, which is checked. Speed brake, which is armed. As we've got EDDM in our sights now, so just around 230 on our ground speed, holding 5,000. .257, we've got the 280 track now. Okay. As we're going to start to go into bad weather, we'll bring the control column over now. Nautical miles to go. As we're just currently cloud surfing just through the tip of the clouds. There's the localizer which has come in, so now we can get the approach which will go on for us. Now once we make that left hand turn, we're going to stay for 5,000 feet and then start that descent down at around 6.5 DME. Engine anti-ice can now go off. Speed brakes are armed. And localizer angle isolate is pre-armed as well. As we've got the magenta diamond and line. .2 to go from EDDM. Then we're going to start to go into that left-hand turn. From that left, we'll drop into a flaps 5. Localizer will start to move over from the right hand side over to the left any moment now. We're then going to intercept and we'll see the localizer then turn green. It will now be replaced with lock, which means the localizer is now active, and then we can see the glide slope which is slowly starting to come down now. So there's the localizer which is going to come in. We're going to bug down to a flaps 5. Okay, flaps 5 which is in. Speed down to 193. Glide slope's now alive, so we're leaving 5,000 feet. We're going on to the approach challenge. We've got landing lights, runway turn-off lights which are on and checked. MCP is bunked for the 261 and we are established on the localizer angle ISO for the category 1 approach. We've got 200 foot decision height which is set and checked. QNH to 1006 with an auto brake setting of number 2. We are cleared for the arrival in, and we'll monitor as we come down as we have got some wobbly weather in the vicinity. So temperature now is +6. Plus 4002. DME. There's our height AGL, 2,500 feet AGL. So we're going to come down to a flaps 15, get out. On 74, which is in and checked. flaps 20. Got 144, which is a plus 10 on the rev. As we've got 21 knots, we've got around 20, so divide that by 2 for the headwind, and there we are. So runway is in sight. We're going to go down to flaps 20, onto a 30, which will give us a 144. Airport is in sight. So landing gear is down, 3 green, 1000, which is checked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disengage the autopilot and the auto throttle, and I have control of the aircraft. Stay for around 144.
Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, speed brakes are up. And reversers are active. Full pressure on the column. Going down through 80 knots, which is checked. Thrust can be set back to idle. Wheel brake can be disarmed. And we can now get ready to vacate off of the runway. That was a very nice, smooth landing, which we'll see once we get down over off of the runway tunnel, as we can now retract our flaps. Speed brakes can be set back, and we disarm the auto brakes, turn them off, which will be set and checked as we now roll off of runway 26 right. As we're just passing over now, we get the landing lights, which can go off. Runway tunnel lights can go off as well. We're still going to cross over. And that is pretty much us now, guys, in for the arrival. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you guys with the landing cinematics, and don't forget to like and subscribe as we get to that 2k subscriber goal. Hope you had a great time tonight, and I'll see you again for the next flight on the channel. So take care for now, guys. I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.